Today, in our series on transforming African heritage into wealth, we are welcoming Thérèse Bungumbaya. Est-ce que je le prononce bien? J'espère que oui. Founder and
Oui, tout
CEO
à
of
fait.
Koba, founder and CEO of Koba Skincare. With over 10 years of experience in the beauty industry across the UK and France and America, Thérèse combines deep experience in e-commerce, digital, marketing, and operation. Koba was born from a mission to simplify skincare with result-driven in routine and naturally active ingredient, merging organic formula with French skincare and perfumery know-how. We absolutely super happy to have you today with us, Therese. You've built an amazing brand with amazing visual, amazing product that really changed, disrupted the beauty when you first started. Can you introduce yourself a little bit to our audience?
Sure. Hi, Agnès. So I'm Thérèse Bungubaya. I'm 39 years old. I was born and raised in France to Congolese parents. My background is mostly in the beauty industry. I started working in the beauty industry right after I graduated from business school. I'd started my career at Clarins and then moved to, so that was back in France. And then I moved to London where I spent most of my adult life. And I was working for different luxury beauty brands like Sarah Chapman. And then I spent 4 years at L'Oreal where I was working for all the pharmaceutical brands. And that was before I decided to create Koba Skincare in 2020, right during the pandemic. And now
But
I live in New York. I moved 3.5 years ago for personal reasons, but yeah, I'm based here now.
so you really are, you have a vision. I think that if we can describe you, you've always had a vision, but also Koba wasn't your first business in beauty.
No, it was my second one.
Do you want to talk
Yeah,
to us
we
about
met. We met about
yeah,
what, 15 years ago? Maybe, yeah, 15 years ago, I guess.
it
Uh,
is yeah, 15, 16 years ago, yes. So you definitely had the vision of
Vision for what I
the
wanted to change in the beauty
yeah,
industry.
what you wanted to change, in the beauty market.
Yeah, I think that was a very different experience though. So my first business was a beauty box subscription model. It was called Boudoir Privé, very similar to Glossy Box and Birchbox, who I think is still leading the way in this market. And the whole idea was to help people discover and try beauty products before they buy them. So with this idea of making conscious decision, I guess, about how
Hmm.
you spend your money and making sure that you buy being convinced that the product is going to work for you. Um, so I guess the common trait was really this attention to this care for efficacy and results and making sure that the product are suitable for your skin type and so your skin needs before you buy. And I guess I took this, efficacy focus and result driven approach to building products into Koba Skincare. That I would say
Absolutely.
is the common point trait in both businesses, and of course the attention to ingredient, because back then with Boudoir Privé, I think we were slightly different in the selection of products and brands we were working with. There were a lot of natural brands, clean brands. So that was we wanted to do differently from our competitors back in the days. And today, again, like in Koba, we really had this approach. Naturality. We use at least 95% of natural ingredients in all our formulas. The brand is clean, vegan, cruelty free. So I kept this approach in my second business for sure.
You started with Boudoir Privé, I was a big fan, absolutely loved it. It was totally innovator. And then you didn't pivot, but you grown from that and you launched Koba. And when absolutely love the imagery, but also what I love is that you put on the map an ingredient that nobody knew. And I would like you to tell me a little bit more about this desire, this vision of merging an African product ingredient with the apothecary, with the skincare in Europe. How did this came about? Why this ingredient in particular?
So when I started working on developing my line, I knew exactly what I wanted to achieve. I was trying to you know address one skin concern, which was dryness, and that really started with my personal problem. So I have very dry skin, especially on my feet, and I couldn't find a foot cream that was ticking all the boxes for me, in the sense that that was very um, result driven, very efficient, um, and that was also nice to use and clean, and nice to look at and have on display on your shelves. So I decided that I would create it. That great result driven foot cream that works on all skin type, but also on the drier skin like mine. And when I was working on the formulation, I knew I wanted to use very nourishing ingredients that were safe to use, that will come from Mother Nature, because that's really my approach to skincare. And I'm obsessed with oils in general, and I wanted to find one oil that will be, that we will use in all our formulations. And I spoke to my mom, who is a chemist, and I was telling her, okay, I'm looking at different options. One option that she suggested, and I didn't know about back then, was safu oil. I knew safu as a fruit because it's part of Congolese cuisine, so I've been eating it, for decades when I go back home to my parents. But I didn't know all the benefits of the skin.
Okay.
So traditionally, it says to reduce the risk of heart disease, and if you use the pulp of that fruit, it can also accelerate healing and heals scars
Oh wow.
on your skin. Yeah, so when you extract the oil from the pulp, this oil is really rich in fatty acid, in amino acid, vitamin C, and vitamin E. So when you think about a cosmetic line, it's the perfect component, because it's going to slow down the aging process of the skin. In terms of properties, it has, of course, nourishing properties, but also antioxidants, antiseptic, and anti-inflammatory. So it's going to, calm down any type of skin irritation you might have. It's a great ingredients to improve the skin texture, to make it more supple, more elastic, and give it a beautiful glow. And you can mix it very easily with other ingredients because it's quite lightweight, and yeah, it's like
Mhm.
super easy to
Mhm.
mix with other oils, butters. So perfect in formulas. So I decided, I felt like, oh, I was sat on this beauty secrets that nobody's talking about. Um, and I made it my
And
mission
that
to really like share that story with the world.
I want to touch a little bit on that because
Yeah,
I thought that was very brave because I know I've seen Safu, I think in Cameroon they call it prawns, you
exactly.
know?
Yes.
So I was like, oh, when I've seen that, I was like, oh, because I've ate that that fruit vegetable. And I was just like, but I didn't know that you can use it as in beauty. And I thought that was very brave of you because you were bringing something that was so different, so far removed from the trend, completely like not only like we don't really know it, but it looks a bit different. And for people that don't know this fruit before, it looks really, it could look a little bit like, what is that? And I thought like, wow, I was very like, I cannot wait the storytelling around all of this and how she's going to push it because it is really new and it's really like one of the best kept secret that she's sharing with the world.
Yeah, totally. Yes. I mean, and it wasn't even, yeah, I just thought that it was a secret that needed to be told. And also I really took pride in sharing that story because it's a celebration of the richness of the African soil, and it has so much to offer. We know already a lot of butters and oils coming from the continent, but there's so much more. And every day I talk to entrepreneurs. I have like one of my friends who is also from the African diaspora, but from Senegal. She's
Mhm.
working on bringing new ingredients also um, to the industry. And I think this is just the beginning, but I'm proud to pave the way, I guess, for other entrepreneurs to. The African continent has so much to offer,
So
and
much.
these ingredients, they are clean and they are beautiful. They are very efficient and versatile. You use them to cook, you use them to heal, use them
Mhm.
to take care of your skin, and they've been used by generation and generation of women and men. So they just need to be brought to the brighter world. And Koba today is the only brand outside of Africa to use saffron oil in cosmetic formulas, which is something I'm very proud about.
Absolutely. And talking about that, the skincare market is one of the most competitive in beauty. Like everybody's fighting for to be seen, fighting to bring the most uh, innovative formulas. I think that beauty and fashion have this in common that they always have to be new and they have to invest in innovation all the time to propose something, to bring something that is useful or inspire people. So how can a brand like Koba stand out among the global and established players um, brand in the beauty industry?
Um, well, I think, first of all, that, as you say, it's a very saturated market with so
Hmm.
many competitors. So for us, we are not trying to compete with other brands. We are not trying to compare ourselves to other brands. We stay really focused on our mission, which is to provide long lasting hydration to all skin type, including the driest one.
Hmm.
And we are we are just focused on that. And how we do it, it's through that ingredient saffron oil, which is our hero ingredients that we use in all our formulas and that we always talk about. And it becomes like something which is even bigger than Koba. Like it goes beyond this mission. I'm just releasing next month a documentary about safu, the fruit itself.
Is it
What it is, where it comes from, how do what do you do with it, how do you cook it, what role does it play in Congolese society, how us as a brand we use it in our formulas, and how we make the oil, because now we are like making our own oil, and my dad is in charge of making that oil. So he spent 6 months a year in Congo just producing the oil. And this is a story that is really unique. Like no one else can tell that story because there's no one else doing it. So we stay very authentic to us and to a story, and that's how we can stand out in the end.
and is it going back a little bit on on your dad? Is it the content that we've seen on your stories?
Yeah, I think when I was in Congo in April this year,
Mhm.
I was sharing a few stories about the journey and the documentary I was making. So yeah, you might have seen a few previews of that. But the full story, which is a 22 minutes long documentary, will be released next month.
I thought it was so interesting, and I was so engaged in your stories with this because I was learning so much, and that was giving me so much insight on how you work your product, the results, the expectation, but also I really appreciated the transparency and to see the way it was done and the people that were involved as well. It was making it so much more desirable, like because you were giving us so much transparency. How much do you think storytelling is important for a beauty brand nowadays?
I think it's super important. I got such a great feedback from these stories that I shared. And that was completely authentic. There was no big production behind it. It was really just me with my phone, showing my day to day, doing my trip there to, tell the story of the fruits, saffron fruits, and show, like, the highs and the lows of that trip. And people were just so responsive, and they were starting to, share on their own stories. Oh, follow Therese and follow Koba to understand, like, the story behind saffron fruits and saffron oil. And they were so engaged and so excited to find out more. Everybody was like, we cannot wait to see the full documentary. And now you understand how important that story, which is really unique to us, which is our hero ingredient, is for our customers and for our followers.
Yeah.
Like, they want to understand how we do it, what it is exactly, like what it looks like, what it takes to make the oil. And they understand that it's a labor of love, like it's a family business that we are doing. Like, my family is involved, my dad makes the oil, my uncle is there too, and I'm just showing that so people really understand. And that makes them even more engaged with the brands, and they just like fall even more in love with the brands. It goes beyond the products. And I guess nowadays people, they just don't buy only products, they buy into people's vision and mission and personal stories. You need to speak to their hearts, and that documentary in the end served exactly that purpose.
It absolutely served that purpose. It actually made the the consumer, but also the person that discover your brand, much more closer to your brand,
Yeah.
and much more involved. Yeah, involved in the process of formulation. And I think that as a consumer, well, I knew the brand because I just know brand, but to experience the brand this way changed a lot of things for me, like, and really wanted to support the brand and to share it with people. And I guess it really generated trust as well, because
Mm.
obviously when you say made in Africa or coming from Africa, people have a certain vision about it. People have certain expectation, and it's not necessarily the best, and most of the time they're very wrong.
Well, I guess for us, it's really a combination of, as you said, so this efficacy of our products, but also the simplicity of our formulas and our routines. This is at the core of what we do. Like, I create the product for me. I'm the first customer of my brand. As I said, I mean, I grew up using French pharmacy brands. My dad was a pharmacist. My mom is a chemist. So my approach to skincare is very much focused on results first and efficacy. And this is what I bring into Koba. For me, it was very obvious that I wanted to partner with the best French labs, because I really believe in the made in France and the savoir-faire, French savoir-faire when it comes to skincare, to formulate and to manufacture our products. And I want product that actually work. This is the only way to turn one-time customer into long time ambassadors. The results that they are going to see and to obtain with their products, that will make them buy them again and again and again, and share with their peers. I have like two kids, a business to run. I don't have time to do 10-step routines in the morning and in the evening. I just want to spend my money on product that actually deliver these results. So I want simplicity in the routines. So all our products, when we develop them, they are always doing a bit more than what it says on the bottle. We have this multi-purpose approach that will really make you save time in your routines. So I'll give you the example with our foot cream, which is our bestseller. Um, the formula contains allantoin. So the allantoin has this exfoliating property that is going to save you the scrub and exfoliating step in your foot care routine. So you basically just need to use your cream every day, and over time it's just going to smooth all the cracks you can have on your heels, and just make your skin very supple and very elastic, and just exactly like the way you expect your feet to look like, very polished. And same like our lip balm, for example, it is formulated to protect, to repair, but it also has how do you say, rice, and we also have sunflower oil that is going to give shine and bring shine to your lips. So it looks like you have the gloss on your lips, but you're not. You're just applying. Yeah, exactly. So you can use it to repair. You can use it to protect. You can use it as a mask overnight. You can use it, as the last step of your skincare routine to have this glossy makeup, no makeup look finish. So it's really, with you don't need to have like many products. You just need the right products that works for you, and that's what we are creating at Koba. Like, we're never going to have a catalog of 50 products. That's not our goal. Our goal is to have one product that works great for specific areas, and that you will just keep on buying. They become staple in your routine. They're timeless. They will always serve the purpose you expect from them. Well, again, like when you think about results, we are not trying to reinvent the wheel. Safu oil is a new product consumers didn't know about, that labs didn't know about. So this is our innovation, in the sense that we know exactly what we can achieve, like what type of skin concern we can address with it, whether it's dryness, bumpy skin, improving skin texture. Um, we are not a medical brand, so we can't really claim that or products have results on, eczema or psoriasis. But we know that from our customers who suffer from these type of conditions, they definitely see results. So they work. They have this innovative side of them that really bring the results to the customers, and they really fall in love with the products. After using them for a few days, they see results. So that's what we do. But at the same time, the rest of the ingredients that we use, they are ingredients that are better known by the public and the labs. I strongly believe in oils and butters, and so we take the best that nature has to offer, and we use shea butter, we use sweet almond oil, so products which are simple, versatile, that you can use on their own, but that prove also like great result when they are mixed with other ingredients. So we combine the best of the best to give, to create this very line, but it's still very simple and easy to use.
Did the people in the industry understood the value of saffron oil straight away, or have you had to do some education, little workshop? How did you convince them?
But I think finding the lab that will really join this adventure was a challenge at the start, but at the same time, all the labs that were saying no were not the right partners. You know what I mean? It's like, we have this vision, this is what we want to do, we have these great ingredients that no one is talking about outside of Africa. Do you want to be bold enough to, bet on us, and be the lab that is going to bring this new ingredients into the cosmetic industry or not? And for me, like, I knew that the right partner would be the one that will say yes, and just like, be okay, we're gonna give you a chance, and this is all the different steps you need to achieve before we can legally use these ingredients in our formulas. So you need to find like a partner that is curious enough, brave enough, bold enough to follow you in that adventure. And this is what we did. We found a partner that really trusted us, and was excited about the line, and wanted to guide us into launching the product. Our goal is to be self-sufficient when it comes to our saffron oil production. So when we started working on Koba, finding a producer of saffron oil that will be able to provide enough quantity of saffron oil, and will provide also all the documentation you need to bring these ingredients to Europe and integrate it into cosmetic formulas. That was another challenge. We only found one person, one producer who was able to do so in Cameroon, and we started working with the producer. But the problem becomes then you rely only on one producer, one supplier. What if next year he run out of stock? What if next year he decide to double his prices? So we needed to withdrawn ourselves from that dependency situation. And that's how I brought my dad in the business. I was like, look, this is what is happening. We have safu fruits in Congo. Why don't we just do it ourselves? Like, let's buy a land, let's plant safu trees, let's make it ourselves. And that's really how it started. So that's what we did. We bought lands, we planted the trees, and we taught ourselves how to make the oil. It's a very artisanal and manual process, because there is not such a thing as safu oil industry. That doesn't really exist. Because because as a fruit, it's not being transformed in Congo, especially in Congo. You use the safu as part of the Congolese cuisine, but we don't really transform it. So we have to do it ourselves. And this is what my dad is doing. So, and now that we know how to do it, we are training, a team locally to give them this savoir-faire. How do you can create this new source of revenue from a food that is widely available in the country? The process itself is very simple. You just need to know how to do it, and you need to understand the value of doing it and what you can make out of this oil. Whether it's for cooking, or you can sell it to restaurants, or you can use it in cosmetic formulas. And now we are just trying to turn this very artisanal and manual process into something which is a bit more elevated, more sophisticated, a little bit more industrialized. And this is like our next challenge at Koba. So we're working on that step. Does that answer your question? Okay. I mean, what you say is very true. I do think that founders shouldn't be scared about this, though. Like, it's a one-off thing that you have to do. It's not that every time you're going to send your products to, Europe from Africa, that you will have to do that again, right? So the hard work of establishing your ingredients as part of your inky list as a cosmetic ingredient, yes, it's a side hustle that is going to take you time and a bit of money, but it's a one-off thing to do. Once you've done it, you can then freely just send your products, and you just need to do how do you say, sorry, a test lab of each new batch of product that you're bringing. But that is like a very simple thing that you do with your partner lab. And so I just don't want people to think that is always going to be a struggle. It's a struggle once. And I think for us, it took us about 6 to 8 months to be able to create, the Latin name for the safu oil that didn't exist before, and that now sits at the back of all our products. And it's almost like you create this ID card for your ingredients. And we did that at the same time as we were still working on the formulation, building our website, creating all the content, etc. So it didn't really delay anything in our process. We were just doing everything at the same time. So we were ready to launch it. Like, altogether, it took me a year and a half to, from the idea to the first 3 products we launched, a year and a half, including all this process of, creating a struggle. It's not just for us, it's for every I guess consumer brands coming out of Africa and trying to send products to Europe. That I don't have the answer for that. We are still like trying to figure it out. Right now it works. We work with DHL, and we find like local partners who can just help us out. But for sure, there is like room for improvements. I don't have answers. I'm just hoping that, more entrepreneurs will like work on that challenge. I think finding the right partner, lab partner that will really, bet on that ingredients and take the risk of bringing it uh, to the market. And but now they realize that it's a strength actually, because now people talk about saffron oil as an ingredient and not always about us, but like it's like, oh, this is becoming a new ingredient, yes, but who talked about it? It's like it's us. When you talk about saffron oil, usually you talk about Koba, and vice versa. When you talk about Koba, you talk about saffron oil. So like both are very intrigued now. And I think that was a challenge, but at the same time, as I said, like for me, finding it also needed to feel natural, because the person who will bet on us and on the ingredients will become the right partner. Like anybody else who declined it, I didn't really want to work with them. Like, you want to stay in your safe space where you're like, oh, we only work with ingredients that we already know. We know how they respond when you mix them with other ingredients. We have this bibliography of, I don't know, like 200 ingredients, and we don't want to add any more to our bibliography. And I'm like, okay, well, clearly you're not the right partner for me. And I want to challenge that statu quo, and I need people who prove more audacity in their approach to skincare. So I think that was one. And then the good thing about us is our products are made in France, and France has one of the toughest regulation when it comes to skincare. So it has been very easy for us to then bring our products to the UK and now to the US. We don't have to reformulate the products. They are compliant with so many other countries' regulation. So that was also like one of the reasons why I wanted to formulate our products in France. Um, Makes you save time, money, um, and yeah. So that's for sure.
Have there been any challenges bringing Koba into different markets, especially now that you're based in the US?
But I guess then in terms of challenges that we have faced, and that doesn't really have to do anything with saffron oil, but it's more like this European approach. So I'm now based in the US, and I really took that opportunity to grow the business here, and I seen a huge difference in the way people have responded to our proposal here versus Europe.
How do you listen to your customers now? And how does that shape what you create next? Like campaign, content, product?
So that's for sure. But I guess then in terms of challenges that we have faced, and that doesn't really have to do anything with saffron oil, but it's more like this European approach. So I'm now based in the US, and I really took that opportunity to grow the business here, and I seen a huge difference in the way people have responded to our proposal here versus Europe. Okay, I see. I would say for sure, like when it comes to, we put our customers at the core of everything we do. So we are really trying to know them and understand them as much as we can. And we're going to use tools that are going to bring us closer to them, whether it's like CRM tools or using, new social media platforms like TYB. Um, the goal is really just to get closer to our customers, and yeah, trying to really identify the skin concerns better, the skin needs better, understands, how they use our products, what next they want to see from us. And like, yeah, I guess brands, not just us, but when you look at the body care market within the skincare industry, it has really been booming for the past few years. And now that it's like people really understand that they need to invest in the body, as much as they should invest in their face or hair or makeup. They they are asking more for from the brands. So not just, nice products to use. It goes way past the, marketing, tools that you can, and messaging that you can see. Now they want targeted products that are going to fix specific concern, whereas we do it in a very
So, how do you keep that relationship with your community feeling close and authentic? As the brand grows, it must be becoming more difficult, no? Especially from London to Paris, you're traveling, there's a distance. Showing up always yourself, it's not easy.
we are quite approachable, I hope so, on social media. Instagram is our number one platform. We really engage there with the community.
Your visual identity feels very clean, natural, personal, familiar, and yet very stylish, arty. I love it. I am a big fan also of your first campaign. So, how did you create that brand world, little cocoon of plant and greenery, without having huge resources?
We like to share not just very beautiful polished, imagery of the brands, but we unfortunately we are a remote team, so we are all like spread out across the world, but we try to share as much as our day to day and the different step of formulating a product with the community, asking feedback. We are very aware of, the importance of getting our customers feedback, and not just customer, also followers feedback, whether it's through DMs or, customer reviews or survey that we will send them. And I guess right now we are in the process of reformulating one of our existing products, and we do it with the community because we realize that this product is great for, specific markets, but not for our number one market, which is now the US. So we have to change the packaging, but changing the packaging means changing the formula. So we are now, like, embarking the community into, okay, we need to know exactly like what you like the most about the previous product, and how in your opinion we can improve it for that the second version of it is even better. Um, so we do like surveys, we send them the surveys, and we really take the answers into consideration and then bring back this knowledge to the lab. And we will just make the adjustments in the formula and like select the packaging depending on what our customers are told us or what the community has told us. And then, so that's one way, like we almost co-create our products together. And we always think about them when we do physical events, like getting to meet them in person. um, is like that's one of the perks of having a consumer brands. I love meeting our actual community and hearing what they have to say about the products, how they use their products. They teach us things like there was like these trends last winter where a community, they were trying to mix products together. They were using the body lotion and mixing it with the oil, something that that was never meant to be, yeah. But that became like a trend, and now it's a trend that I've adopted myself, and I do it all the time now. So we learn from them by meeting them. And for example, when we do the documentary screening, hey, I wasn't trying to pretend to be something that I wasn't. I was very authentic and doing really things with the resources that were available to me back then. So it was really just me and my voice being able to convey that message, to talk about the products, what I was trying to achieve with this cosmetic line, how different we were. So it's basically just you facing a camera and talking about all of this, and then bringing some kind of external elements, like as you say, the plants, because that is going to, um, remind people about nature and the naturality of the products and the ingredients. There's a lot of green in our brand, not image, sorry, like how do you say? Branding, sorry, branding, branding. The packaging, it's green, because again, it's a nod to nature and it's a nod to a name. Also, Koba, Koba means turtle in Lingala, which is one of the most spoken languages in Republic of Congo. And um, yeah, and it was just basically talking about, I guess, bringing to life the first code, or what became then the codes of the brands, uh, the natural elements, clean, authentic, simple, no artifice, just being very true to ourselves, and yeah, just using what we have, like the resources available, which we're not we're not a lot. We are not like a a brand that has raised millions. We are a self-funded brand. um so we just need to do the best with what we have, the resources we have, and be a bit more creative. But even the creativity doesn't have to be far-fetched. Sometimes just less is more, and just simple is the best way to.
One, two, three. Thank you so much, Therese. This was such a beautiful conversation. The documentary is out, and I advise everyone to go and see it because it is a masterpiece. Masterpiece. Beautiful.
To meet our goal. Thank you for having me. Yes, please. Thank you, Agnes. You too. Thank you so much.